You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Game of Thrones After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Game of Thrones After Show.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel pretty chilly after that episode. Like, watching a whole episode in the wall, I was cold the whole time. It just transferred over.
I got my jacket on.
Yeah, exactly.
Leather jacket.
So, joining us today, in the amazing leather jacket, Kyle Maddock.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And as always, the lovely Kristen Snyder.
Thanks, Dave. Hi, guys.
And next to me, also lovely, Sara Stretton.
Yes, I got a lovely too.
Yeah, because I can't come up with more adjectives. I'm very nondescriptive. And my name is Dave Klein, and we have a very special guest with us today. You may know her as a host of a little website, IGN, just one of those small ones there. Naomi Kyle.
Hey, guys. Yay.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Game of Thrones. Second to last episode. I'm excited.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, so Naomi, you are a huge Game of Thrones fan, so thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. The more Game of Thrones, the better.
Did you start I have a question. Did you start as a book reader or a TV watcher?
TV watcher. Yeah.
Watcher on the wall.
Watcher on the wall.
You can join my team then.
Yeah. Watch it.
So what a morbid episode to come in on.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, let's jump into it. So we start at the north, and we end at the north. It's the whole episode. Well, we've got Sam and Jon watching over the side of the wall, and Sam just digging in, wanting to know about what it was like to be with a woman. What was it like? Tell me, Kyle.
Tell you?
What was it like?
I don't know. I'm
it.
not a poet.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, by the way, I love poetry. Too bad. Because I really liked Jon Snow, so now it's like,
He lost points.
But I thought it was
Oberyn's
good.
kind of dead now, so you don't have him anymore.
What are you doing for your love interest?
No, I'm just kidding. Jon, he did step up. He was like, it's like being wrapped up in another person, and you become more than you for a moment. I liked it. He said he wasn't a poet, but it was like, it was just how he was going to end, so he was still like the cool guy, but it was actually described well.
It felt real. It felt like relatable. You know? He took it there.
I mean,
he took it there.
It does feel like you're wrapped up in another person when you're wrapped up in another person. That's usually
Yeah.
It's usually what. Yeah, that's usually.
It's
how
a
it
good
feels to me.
picture, what's happening a little bit.
But I like the you become more than you part because that was throughout this entire episode.
Yeah.
We got that a
that's
lot with
true.
Sam. And it was just like, I feel like the entire episode, other than all the fighting, was focused on love.
Yeah. Well,
That's a good point.
Yeah, and speaking on that, then we immediately get Maester Aemon talking with Sam as Sam's looking over the books, and Maester Aemon immediately recognizes what Sam's really pining over and looking over is what could have possibly happened to his love, Gilly.
I
Poor
really
Gilly.
liked that moment.
It was beautiful.
I felt it, what he was saying.
I know. And I almost teared up just a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
When he had that line about how he could see her right in front of him and how she was more real than he was.
I know. That was the line that was like, oh, you're
I
killing
think,
me.
were we not all like imagining
feels.
someone there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I was. Yeah. Me
Maybe
too.
because I was watching it before you guys and I was alone and I was like, he's gonna have a heart attack. He's gonna have a heart attack right before the battle.
So we're all having
That
this
would have killed it for me. I would have bawled.
I was literally just
Flat
I was
out.
like, and then he's gonna die.
So we're having all these like lovey-dovey
no.
thoughts, and Sarah here is like, ha ha ha, Death Star's gonna start now.
Waiting for
War's not
impending
enough.
doom.
And he's like, love is the death of duty and all that stuff. And I was like, and now you're talking about love. And I was like, this isn't going to end well. That's what goes through my mind.
It's nice that love was on the tip of everyone's tongue right before death. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's, I think that's really how, what's important for everyone. It's when you're facing death, you really think about what's really important to you at the end. And it always ends up being that special someone who's going to be the first person you think about when there's something goes wrong.
Impending
you're
doom.
facing impending doom. But we get right after this Sam walking outside, and then we have Gilly at the gate, and Sam finally steps up and mans up. And I was kind of thinking of what you were talking about, Kristen, with love being the theme of this episode, that we've seen a lot of love tearing and being an issue for people, especially Cersei talking about it, where love tears people down as weakness according to her, and that's a problem to have love. But for someone like Sam, and this is something I've argued about in the past, I think love can really help strengthen someone, especially if someone you care about. And we see this with Sam. It's really made him not a coward anymore. He stands up.
He found his
drops
courage.
the F-bomb.
True love. Yeah, he dropped an F-bomb. That's right. He yells at the guy like, what? That's not Sam.
I mean, his vocab is so vast because of all the reading he does, so he doesn't normally need those words.
Right.
But sometimes you have to throw them out there.
But
For
right
love.
now, right now, that's the only way people, I guess, can tell how serious he is if he uses those words. But it's love is the death of duty, and he did make, was it Pip open the gate?
Pip.
Yep.
Which we get a lot of in this episode. Pip hadn't really been seen too much before, and we finally get him for some reason. I don't know why they brought him up more.
I wonder why.
So that's when the horns blow for them. But on the wildling flip side, we get Tormund, Giantsbane, and Ygritte preparing, as well as Ygritte is notching arrows, and Tormund's, as always, talking about his tales of battles past and loves past and loves past. Yeah, love. But he always says great
Sexual
tales.
encounter.
But yeah, it's not
Battle
love.
with a bear.
A bear. Yeah, I was like, what is he talking about?
The bear and
was
the maiden
proud.
fair.
Fangs?
Thank you.
He was
waiting
proud
for
of
it.
that.
I was like,
Bear,
I was like,
Bear and the Maiden
like,
Fair,
that's
right?
Bear and the
the
Maiden
start
Fair.
of the song.
Yeah. It's right there. Tormund started this legend. So yeah, she's
So
not having
switched
any of
it
it.
around a little.
But it was nice that they were also talking about love.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of all these scenes.
Except for the Thens.
Yeah, except for the fact that it was like love, but
They
basically like violent rape.
They love differently. They just
Like
love
the bears
differently.
and-
Well, I mean, you can tell that Ygritte she's anxious about the battle. She's incredibly anxious, but you can tell that she really is pining about what she might have to do with Jon, and she doesn't really want to.
No, she's fighting it all the way through. I mean, she's talking about killing those guys and, you know, not letting up. And I feel like she just is trying so hard to fight the feelings that she has and how she doesn't want to face this at all. I think she's fearing it throughout. You can kind of see it.
And she was kind of defending Jon by saying, any of you others try to kill him, I'll put an arrow through your head. So she was defending him.
She wanted control of whether or not he was going to live or die.
Oh yeah, she didn't want anyone else killing him.
Yeah, I kind of took it as like her being like trying to step up and be like, none of you can take him because he's mine to kill, and that's how bold I am and strong. And
Do you think they saw through that? I feel like
we
maybe they
saw
did.
through it. I mean, they kind of did.
Yeah.
And she was just like, Jon Snow is mine, and I was like, I feel like you've said this before, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Like, I think you still love him. I think you're lying to yourself and to everyone.
yeah, she wasn't talking about being wrapped up in another and
No.
that.
No.
In a different way.
Yeah, putting an arrow through you, it's close.
Sure.
Yeah. So then the horn has blown now for everyone. So we get the preparations at the wall being taken apart where they're gathering up barrels to drop over the side. Sir Alliser's watching over, and he actually has a moment there where he admits that he was wrong to Jon. That's something that's very much not an Alliser moment. He would never admit that he's wrong, and he actually does here as they're looking over at hundreds of thousands, or 100,000.
100,000, yeah.
Specifically. 100,000 troops.
Yeah.
They counted it one by one.
And he also says he wouldn't have minded if the redhead finished him off.
Yeah, but
That
that's...
was brutal,
Yeah.
but I mean, he was just making his point that like after this, we're back to old ways, you know.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
still
for
gonna hate
now,
you.
for now, we got to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It was cool, and you know, it's good that he gave him that power in a way, and
That's
yeah,
a good point.
Yeah.
I actually like seeing Alliser step up because up until this point, he'd just been, we really get Jon's side of view. Every
Yeah.
time we see him, he's like, oh, he's the horrible guy who trains everyone, who's terrible at training, and he's a jerk, and he's an asshole. But here he really does step up and take the leadership role. And he's a good leader. He actually knows how to encourage the troops.
Yeah, and he gave him props for that idea about covering the tunnel, or what did he say, to block off the tunnel?
Yep.
Give him props for that.
Yeah, he was a good leader just like Janos.
Yeah, Janos is a really good leader.
No, he's much better than that. I mean, he is
joking.
he is a knight, and there aren't that many knights, I believe, at the wall, because he is Sir Alliser Thorne, and so he does have experience, and he's been down that road a little bit. I'm sure he's been in fights where a lot of the people there probably haven't been, and so it was nice to kind of see him step up like that.
No, wait, I thought you were talking about Janos for a
No,
moment.
not Janos. No, Alliser.
I was
Yeah.
just joking, obviously.
No, I know.
Janos-
I thought
Yeah.
Kyle was talking about Janos. That's why I was confused.
Oh yeah,
but-
Janos, when he stepped up, it was just
It
blew my
was like,
mind.
thank goodness Janos is taking charge.
Well, he basically took the role of a woman because he just ran
Whoa.
and hid with the baby and the ghillie.
I feel like there's a
Right?
lot of women in
Terrible.
this show who would not agree with that assessment.
Wow.
You know what I mean.
I like Naomi's
Like he
expression. She's like,
ran
Yeah, he totally just went away.
as if he had a child to protect. But that's himself.
But speaking,
baby that needs help. Yeah,
speaking of child
doesn't want to get hurt. Yeah, it's child to protect.
Gilly.
I know.
Gilly is protecting her child. So Sam takes Gilly to protect her after saying the words that he'll never leave her, and now he's leaving her. Sam, to be a man. This is what men do, Gilly. I'm off to be a man.
Well, he had a point when he was like,
He
we
did have a
can't
point.
always be in the same room together forever. Like, let's be Siamese
What?
twins.
No.
I think a lot of men need to explain that to their girlfriend.
Whoa. Well, I mean,
Brought it back to reality.
yeah.
Bring it back. I mean, gotta relate it to it. You know?
I don't know. I can kind of see where she would be a little naive in that word, just because she lived with Craster and their house was one room.
Yeah.
She probably was never out of the room of her.
You know what? Let's just
That's
throw
right.
out that apparently Janos pulled it off. He made it work.
Janos.
He did exactly what she wanted Sam to do. Exactly what she wanted Sam to do.
That was ridiculous because even when they didn't know it was Sam charging through the door, like Janos still sat there hidden in the corner, and Gilly was the one.
She
who
was
took
the one
bone.
defending the. Yeah.
I
The
mean,
meat.
I feel like
The beef leg or whatever that was.
would you expect anything less from like Gilly though? I mean, the last time when she was hiding from the wildlings, I was surprised because she's always been that girl who's out there and like fighting and kind of rash and abrasive. And in this episode, we saw Sam kind of gain a little bit of that. And I think from her, like we saw him step into into bravery, into courage. He gained a lot more points with me. I've not been the biggest Sam fan. And this episode, his look on battle and his perspective on what was going to happen to all of them really drove the episode for me.
Yeah.
Like his character build.
He was there the whole way through, and he made some great choices, and I feel like he's always been hiding that part of him, and then just through his love for Gilly and everything, just it brought it out in him, and he's like this whole new guy. He's the good guy that he was, but stronger.
Absolutely.
You know? And I think they need that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sam needs to be that way for Gilly, for the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like his confidence too, obviously, after killing the White Walker, and also he even admits in this episode, I'm not nothing anymore. So
Yeah.
I think having the confidence now to be that man who he didn't feel like he was before, but really becoming himself.
Yeah, and then he has that moment where he goes to talk with Pip and cheer Pip up, who Pip can't handle, and he's like, and has that exact speech that you were just mentioning, and trying to cheer up Pip and be like, you know, just gotta do it, just gotta shoot, and you know, you become everything. All that matters in that moment is just that survival instinct.
Yeah.
Really.
And he's tapped into that now. Sam's
Yeah.
the good.
He's
He's gonna be the new Jon Snow now that Jon's gone.
He's gonna have.
We haven't gotten there yet.
I was like, wait, John's gone? What did I fall asleep at the end of this episode?
As soon as Jon walked out the door, he got shot by an arrow.
He just done. I was like,
Oh, did I spoil that for everyone?
thanks, George.
So Ygritte's now on the other side. Ygritte's watching, and she's watching them, sees the fat man and Pip and the smaller guy. So she's taking scopes as they're about ready to ride out. We see the giants riding mammoths now from the other side. So remember, we've got two sides attacking. Because the side that Ygritte's on with Tormund is from the south wall, which is not nearly as big as we get the giant sweeping pan camera of how the wall is laid out. And yeah, those giants on the mammoths. Glad to see those.
Ooh, there was a lot of beautiful green screen work in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good looking stuff. All the shots of the wall, everything.
Great CGI.
Yeah, it was really good.
Imagine some bigatures. I learned about those in Lord of the Rings special edition. I'm sure these bigatures.
But
But
it definitely was an expensive episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although hopefully not as expensive as the finale, which I want it to be way more like
Yes.
epic.
I'm thinking the money went on this one. That's
You think?
I really Hope not.
Let's hope not.
I think the
they
money-
did that last season. I don't want that.
I think the money went to this episode, but that doesn't mean that 10th episode won't be epic. I mean, keep in mind, last week's episode, the 8th episode, was really epic, and that was basically one battle. So you don't need a giant budget to have an epic episode.
That's a really good point, because they've sort of have established all the scenery for us in this episode, which is why they needed all the money. And so next episode can be more epic because it's really those character moments that are epic.
Yeah,
and
back to
those-
the drama of all the
Yeah, and
characters.
that takes place in a much smaller quarter. But now we've seen the vast landscape and we're there mentally.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I kind of agree. This wasn't my favorite episode because just action, 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 no character development, which is part of what Game of
Yeah.
Thrones is. But
Save Sam.
right,
Yeah.
save
Yeah.
Sam.
That's
Yeah, who had a
Sam.
lot of character development. But I do think you need these to show just how crazy wars really are in the show and what it actually means, because it has to build up to something like this. And it's like, oh, that's what this is going to be. This is what a war is like, as opposed to just talking about an off scene. It's good to see it.
Yeah.
We all need to learn these war tactics because winter is coming.
Yeah.
Winter. Yeah.
And
Speaking of which, they had a few blunders in their war tactics.
Oh,
The barrels
war
falling
tactician.
over, and then they had what was it? They lit a barrel right before it was gonna fall off the wall, and then it exploded. And I was like, damn it, this is just too clumsy. We need to be better at defending this wall.
But it shows that they're not trained. They're not.
That's true.
They're not the perfect soldiers. They're just
Yeah.
a ragtag band of guys who can kind of fight. They've got a little bit of training.
Yeah.
I mean, as Grin accidentally pushes off the barrel on that note.
I know.
Yeah.
But before we move to actual war, we should mention that Maria Menounos, our producer, has actually released a new book on diet and fitness, the Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness. So for everyone who wants to be better at fighting wars and be in shape for that type
Oh,
of
segue.
thing, this is what you gotta do. So check it out. Lots of great workout tips, lots of great tips on different foods that you can cook and eat and how to cook them and recipes. So lots of ways to get into shape to fight off some wildlings and thens. Unless I don't know which side you're actually on. It was funny because when I was watching this is kind of skipping ahead a bit, but when we were watching the battle between Tormund Giantsbane and Alliser Thorne, I was very split because I'm like, well, I like Tormund Giantsbane, but I want the wall to win. So it's kind of like, it's a hard battle to decide who you want to win. And I guess this is skipping ahead a little bit, but what did you guys think during that actual moment?
I don't really like Tormund Giantsbane.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Maybe you guys
Tormund.
obviously do because of the books, but like what moments can you tell me why I should? Can you refresh me like
That's a
the
good point.
audience members who haven't read the books and don't have this history of him? Why should I like
For
him
me,
from the show?
I've always kind of liked him since they introduced him to the show, and I read the books after, so I've liked him pretty much just as the TV watcher. Do you remember when he pretended to be Mance in a way when he first met Jon?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's always kind of had that smart aleckness, but he also always seems kind of like the big brother you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
And that was
I can
always
see
my
that.
viewpoint of him, where I felt like if he was on the side of the wall, I would love him. I would be like, yes, we have like such a great warrior, and he's such a smart
Such a
aleck.
beast. Yeah.
So I agree that
Yeah.
that battle, like, I wouldn't have been too sad.
If Alliser had taken it, which he sort of did, but
Yeah. Do we know?
I don't think we found out.
he got carried into some room
Some
with.
Haste
chamber.
stacks.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they say he's fallen, but we don't really see him.
So do you think?
He
I don't
fallen and he
know.
had to get up.
That was
I
they're
don't know.
definitely not gonna kill him because he was like still talking and it was just like he had like
Yeah.
gotten
Drag me in.
stabbed.
Yeah.
But they should
defend
have
the wall.
they would have made that way more epic or a better death scene, I think, if he's really gone.
So yeah, that's
He's
a,
a
good
big
point.
enough character. I feel like they would do that. Yeah.
So Lord Bond on the chat screaming out, "What? Tormund is the best!" But I know Lord Bond's also a book reader, so I think that might be a good point that you had there, because from a book reader perspective, they really give you a lot of Jon bonding with Tormund. Tormund really does act as that big brother for Jon, just as Sarah was saying. That's kind of the relationship there. So he's
Well,
like the
I got
guy
that.
who kind of watches over Jon and really cares about him and things like that you get throughout it. So I guess that's why as a book reader, you're like, oh, but I like Tormund, but I want the wall, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll rewind it a little bit, though, because I kind of skipped ahead a lot there, where we've got the actual battle starting now as they notch, draw, and shoot the arrows and fire arrows shooting down, and all havoc laying loose. That doesn't make sense. Anyway,
They use the word loose, actually,
loose.
so
Yeah.
it does work
But just
to some extent.
but chaos as the south wall, the Thens and Wildlings really quickly climbing over the side. It didn't
Wait.
take too long.
Their camp was like 2 feet from the castle.
Yeah.
It was that hill, man.
What was up with that? This might be a little nitpick,
Yeah.
but I think the people on the south side of the wall would have saw their little campfire or something.
They were like in
Especially
a
when
valley.
they went. Yeah, they were in a valley, and then they put it out, and it was this big puff of smoke.
Big puff of smoke.
Yeah.
It's like,
And,
you're sure they're not gonna
Gilly
see
just
that?
ran across the ridge.
Yeah,
like,
she was just like, hi.
thankfully, her baby is the quietest thing ever.
I know.
Thankfully, it's a prop.
Even in the show, it's a prop in the actual event.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fake baby, just so people like
Don't feel bad
Yeah,
for
exactly.
her. It's a defense.
Yeah,
It's a way of protecting herself.
That's what war tactics right there.
I got a fake baby, guys. Don't touch this.
Don't do this. Ygritte's like,
touch this.
okay.
Yeah, then,
But as right at the start of the battle, things go awry south of the wall because it's such an easy area to climb over. And Alliser is pulled away pretty much immediately and gives the charge to Sir Janos Slynt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, and you would think he'd be able to do something because he commanded the gold cloaks, I believe, at
Because
King's
he did
Landing.
such a good job when he was doing that.
He was good at killing.
Well, did he? Do you remember
He
what he
killed
did?
babies.
He killed babies. He did nothing.
Well, he took orders.
He was really
He did the orders like he was told to do.
he was really good at killing babies.
Yeah.
They're hard. They're not defenseless or anything. Yeah.
And I don't. How long was he even in that position?
super short, it
Right?
seemed like.
Yeah.
I feel like that happened.
Next
in
shot was
instant.
just him. I'm gonna go now. Like he just bounced. He completely panicked. Was in denial of the whole thing.
Well, I
He
think
didn't even give-
gibberish. I felt like the gibberish was about to start happening. As he
Yeah.
was talking, he's like talking to himself. I was expecting just the
He's
like,
going insane. Like he's off the rocker.
I mean, the
Exactly.
wall feels like the safer place to be, though. I'd be like, I'll stick to the top of the wall because that's further away from everything else.
He
Yeah.
was called down though.
Yeah, he was called down, and then but he's
Well-
still so panicky that he doesn't leave the leadership to anyone. He's just like, okay, and then someone
Yeah.
walks away.
That's when Jon was like, okay, arrows.
That's when Jon was like, I'm gonna do this because
Nice.
I'm a good warrior and leader. So
If he really, this is my question. If he really wanted to hide, why wouldn't he just like run over the wall though, like not stay?
Wait, off the wall?
no, no, like
just suicide.
they're on like one section of the wall,
Yeah.
over the gate, but it's a very big wall. Like, couldn't you just like run away, like down it towards like Eastwatch?
We didn't have money to show that part, so no.
Okay.
We have Gilly's established
Never
hideout.
mind.
Well, I think because they built the ditches, you saw that it wasn't just a flat wall on top. So I think that only extends so far, and then they've stopped digging those trenches in the top of the wall.
Gotcha.
Once it gets to the abandoned castles,
Thank you.
so you could probably only get so far.
I feel like my plot hole has just been filled.
There you go. I'm trying.
Thanks.
I'm trying. But Janos wasn't actually called down. That was just a plot from who said it?
I'm not sure. I just thought someone said Alliser wants you.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that was one of the brothers saw that he was going crazy
Oh, was
and
it?
just made it up.
Okay.
Oh,
Was that the
that
little
would make
head
more
nod?
sense.
That's what I thought. That's what I saw it as. They saw Jon Snow was yelling at him. He's like, "What are you crazy? There are no giants. What are you?" And one
don't know what you're talking
and one of the brothers was just like, "Hey, Alliser's throwing coach down. Get out of here." That's what I
That might
saw.
have been. I
Smart
guess
guy.
I mean,
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
areas.
I thought it was
needed
very clever.
I mean, both areas need more men, so I wouldn't have been surprised
Yeah.
if they're like, well, he's a knight, so he can use his sword, so we need him. So that's why it didn't take me off guard.
Yeah.
But it could very much be that case. So he ends up running and finding the hiding spot Gilly's in. So we'll see how I don't know if people will ever trust the wildling if she says that to anyone, but we'll see how that ends up playing out. If she mentions that.
I had this.
Well, Sam also sees
Yeah,
him
it's
there.
at the end, yeah.
Yeah, I had this really scary moment where Janos Slynt was going to go, wildling, and attack her. But luckily that didn't happen.
Yeah.
No,
I see
yeah.
your
Good point.
He was just
He was gone.
couldn't act
saw the
anymore.
baby.
He was in the like
Oh, the
curl up
baby,
yeah.
the fake baby.
Yeah, fake baby, exactly. So we have some really cool tactics that we're starting to see from the wall. So they have oil pulled up so they can light, and little buckets so they can light their arrows on fire and shoot that over the wall. And then they have a system where they can hoist themselves 90 degrees over the side of the wall and shoot people from 90 degrees, which I wouldn't want to be the man doing that.
No, as we find out later.
Yeah.
but it
That
looked
massive
awesome.
spear that the giants sent over.
Right,
We're like,
which-
that's an arrow. No, that's a spear. That's gonna hit That's not gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, that's part of the whole episode.
That was the greatest moment.
The giant, because the one wildling was like beep,
Yeah.
and he's like, I can do this. Woo. That was amazing.
It was the best moment.
Yeah, and things like this are fun too for book readers like Kyle and I, because a lot of the tactics that are used here are different than in the books, and they took away some of the tactics they used, and then they added some new ones. So like I don't recall that a giant with arrows. I just remember them ramming the bottom. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, yeah, I believe it was just ramming. I don't.
Right.
It was a mix. I think they used some of it. They didn't use some of it. They had arrows. They had flaming arrows. They dropped the barrels full. I believe the first barrel they dropped was frozen rocks.
Yeah, so that was one of the tactics that they'd figured out in the book. Was that first barrel you saw was that they filled it with rocks and then put water in it. Since it's so cold, it would freeze, and that would be one hell of a thing to have dropped on you. So that's what those barrels were filled up. But yeah, I mean, like some tactics from the books weren't in it, some were, and then some things were completely new in the show. So it's cool surprises, like the scythe thing.
Was that a surprise?
That was a surprise.
The big anchor that just went.
I was in love with that thing.
I was like,
cool.
I was like, what's the
like
scythe?
so much fun. Keep doing it. Like, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, at first I was like, they're breaking their wall. They're breaking their own wall, and then I was like, oh,
Clever.
Yeah.
they're just shaving a little bit.
That's one of those things that you really have to prepare for. Like, I wonder when they, you got to put that up days in advance. At least.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like they were timing it too to see like, okay, this is how far the anchor reaches, and so that'll swipe them all off.
Yeah, because it was frozen underneath too. It was under
Yeah.
ice when it came out. So
Yeah.
It's really neat as a book reader to watch these battles, because Battle of Blackwater they changed quite, and they did different tactics. And
Yeah.
this one they did different tactics, and it's kind of ironic that book readers will know we missed the chain in the Battle of the Blackwater,
Yeah, I really missed that one.
and then we got a chain in this battle,
Oh.
which was kind of a
brought it
fun
back.
chain.
They're getting inspiration,
Yeah.
just rearranging a little bit.
Just putting it in different places.
Slightly different style chain. This one
Yes.
had the scythe at the edge of it. But yeah. It's fun to watch the battles, and it's also fun to have surprises as a book reader and be like, oh, that's new, that's cool, that's different. So that's fun to get. But we get the other side of the wall, the south side, where we got the Thenn using the giant mace, smashing people over left and right, and the Thenn is just wielding giant weapons, and you see why they're so good at battle.
They're massive.
Yeah,
was
really
it Stir?
big.
It
Yeah,
was
Stir.
huge.
Stature-wise, I was like, giant's blood? Like, they're as big as, like, Hodor.
Yeah.
And what about like his twin? That like
Maybe Hodor's
Sam.
a Thenn. Like, that's where he comes from.
Maybe.
Remember the first then that we saw that Sam took care of
Yeah.
last moment?
But actually,
Yeah.
just before that moment, what led to that was him with Pip, who finally gets one with his crossbow,
Yeah.
and Pip doesn't survive. He's a Ygritte.
I knew he was going to die the moment he was like, I just got a guy in the throat, and he was like celebrating his like one kill, and I was like, oh.
That's what happens in Game of Thrones. You celebrate, you die.
Another plot hole for you?
Pride.
Nothing. Too much pride. It's over and all over again. Yeah.
Why didn't Ygritte continue to kill Sam? If that was in her eye line.
I think he ended up hiding right when that happened. I think he was ducked down right
Yeah,
after
she
that.
couldn't see him, and that's why I was worried. I was like, is she like waiting for him to like? Does she know that he's there?
Right? I was
Yeah,
like,
I figured
was
she was waiting.
I'm like, don't get up, Sam. Like, just if anything,
She's
stay
waiting
down.
for
She's
you.
waiting.
Well, if you want me to fill the plot
Thank
holes
you.
again, he was actually standing up, getting ready to take a shot when he got hit,
Okay.
and Sam was hiding down
Right.
behind the wall.
Because I saw an eager eye line, and
Yeah.
I was like, it was from like Sam's perspective almost, and I was like, what's gonna happen now?
Yeah, he's
and
like,
then I was like, oh,
"Ooh."
nothing. I was like, oh, questions.
So get down Doe on the chat saying nice callback on the chain to you, Kyle. By the way, just want to throw that out.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, immediately after this, we get Sam. He's got he's got an idea, so he runs off. He shoots the Thenn in the neck with a crossbow.
right in the nick of time.
Perfect.
That made
was
me nervous.
crazy.
That Sam.
Did you see it in the neck? I thought he got him right in the
Oh,
head.
maybe it was right in the head.
It was in the
Yeah,
head.
you could be right.
Yeah,
it was in the head.
It was somewhere.
Regardless, it was the facial region. Somewhere right there.
A lot of head smashing and stuff in this episode.
Yeah, those
The
bald
heads
heads
did
make
not
good
survive.
targets.
They did not do well.
And we see
Sam always surprises me though.
This whole episode. Like, where's
much.
this
Yeah.
Sam? He's been gone this whole time.
The power of
Now he's
love.
back.
Yeah.
When the Thenn was
Power of love.
starting to run, Sam didn't even have his arrow
No.
in the weapon yet.
Unprepared. The most unprepared ever.
He was just carrying them together. And he's like stopped and was slowly getting it in. It was like seriously inches away when he shot
I
the
feel like
guy.
he grabbed it from somewhere though. Was it his? The whole
I
he
think
had
it
it
was
with him the
Pip's.
whole time.
I think
it was
Pip's
Pip's.
crossbow.
Yeah, and he was like carrying an
Yeah.
arrow and the crossbow, but
I'm not gonna need this. Oh wait, I do.
He's like, oh.
he so calmly did it too.
Yeah,
was
I
just
mean
like-
it's that survival instinct again. You know,
Yeah.
he brought it. He brought it.
And then he goes to Ollie, and we see Ollie back, who is the child who who was the messenger when the Thens attacked and ate his parents. He's back. So
Wait. Oh,
Call back to the
wow.
orphan.
yeah, call back
Was
to
he
the orphan.
also the one that? Who was the child?
That was him.
That was him.
Yeah. So,
Gotcha. Just wanted to verify.
yeah, that was him. So so he leads Sam up, and Sam's idea is to go get Jon to help out. So
But Sam also tells Ollie to
Find
find
a
a weapon.
yeah, foreshadow.
Insert.
Nice bow just lying right next to him.
So while this is
moonlight.
going on the other side of the wall, the big wall, they're dropping down explosive barrels now to fight off the giants who are using their mammoth to open the gate. And right after that happens, they're still trying to get underneath. So Gren gets sent off to defend underneath. What a great position to take.
I know.
Yeah.
Defend the gate.
But the mammoth doesn't like fire like our friend the hound doesn't like
Yeah.
fire and runs away.
Steps on a guy as he's running off. It didn't look like that gate was coming down. I don't know. They were talking about how they were going to pull it down. They didn't look like they were making any headway with that gate, getting that
Yeah.
thing down.
I felt like they were.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was like, that gate's not gonna survive. It's just the way that they. Well, maybe just my perception, I guess.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking.
You have to believe that. I mean,
Yeah.
to consider them a threat at all.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, that thing's not moving. What's going on?
You had faith. You had faith
I
in
guess.
the Night's Watch.
Yeah,
and their
I did.
Builders.
Builders. I had faith in that 4 inches of cold rolled steel.
Let's say that line one more time.
That's a tongue twister.
That was
Jeez.
well said, though.
Wow, thank
Bravo.
you.
Well done.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. I quit. I'm out.
Mic drop.
End
One line. That's
End
it.
on a high note.
That's all that takes. But yeah, so then one giant's able to power it up himself.
He was
and get
mad.
underneath.
I think he
Yeah.
hulked out.
Weightlifter.
He's like, I'm angry.
yeah.
It's like when a mom. It's like though you hear about like a mother
Yes.
having a child trapped under a car, and then all of a sudden she'll have 10 times the strength and be able to lift up a car. You hear about that because you get that adrenaline rush and
The
that,
mountain.
yeah, or the mountain, yeah, forcing someone's head into explode.
When he's like, he died, right?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Come on.
It was his last breath.
Okay.
That's what I want to believe. You know?
I'm with you
ya.
wanting to believe these two don't seem as thrilled about it.
All right.
So we have Simfire in the chat saying, I tweeted the actor that played Pip and said, at least you got one, and he favorited it.
Oh.
So, that's oh, I don't know. That's funny. Fun that he favorited it at least. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
like, that's his career.
Yeah.
So
This is just the start.
hopefully,
It is
I like Pip.
For
I
most
hope
Game
his
of
actor-
Thrones people, I think.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot of things now.
Pedro, what's his name? Pascal?
Oh,
The guy
yeah.
who played Oberyn. Beautiful. He's getting an Emmy.
He was my favorite.
My hope for him is he's getting an Emmy.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
There we go.
Let's go.
He was
Let's go.
great.
You can
He's
start
Bring
a
it.
campaign.
There we go.
There we go.
Starting a campaign for Pedro.
Supporting actor. He doesn't have to fight Cranston in that part. Okay.
That's true.
Because
That's true.
he's taking it home
That's
this
true.
year. Let's be serious.
Finale of Breaking Bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So Gren's sent down there, and then we get the giant charging in at them. And Gren trying to pull them together. That's not a scary sight to see.
But
Giant
that
charging
was
right at you.
so amazing to see.
Yeah.
It's hard to see, but it was cool. You know, they were like, holding out, even if they knew it was their last breath, if they were gonna die.
Absolutely.
I wish we could
And
have
like
seen that
scary
fight.
as shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Why?
even-
Why didn't they show us?
Yeah, I wanted to see it too. Oh,
So
well.
sad.
Darn.
Maybe some other time. The battle's not over. So maybe
Behind
some
the
other time.
scenes, Game of Thrones DVD.
Flashback.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of just imagine all the Night's Watch were holding their sword, and
Yeah.
the giant kind of just fell on the swords, right? And also on all of them.
I don't want to
crushing
believe
them.
that at all.
And
That's
Giant's
what you
like,
saw, right?
That was like
That's
my
what I
mental
saw.
image.
He
He was just like running, and they were like,
He tried like a
Yeah.
WWF jump onto them just to try and body slam them.
The worst. I don't want to believe
Tag
that at all.
team.
So up at the top of the wall, we've got Ed taking over. So that is the character who takes over the wall and uses the scythe and utilizes that as Jon gives an order, like use explosive barrels if they get close, and use the scythe if they climb up high enough on the wall. So kind of taking Jon's suggestions there, but
Yeah.
you'd think he would just know that because if they prepped the scythe.
Is Ed new? Because I don't remember seeing Ed before.
Oh no, he's not new. He's been around.
Yeah, he's been in the contingent of interchangeable Jon companions for every season.
I
pretty much.
have not remembered.
He's sometimes
Ed.
a little bit more pessimistic. That's my general
He
vibe
has
of
that's
him.
that's his character in the book. He's very he's pessimistic. He's always got kind of a downer joke ready to go.
He's
at any
like
point.
he's like the one who was like, I feel like he was in the scene who's like, we're always shoveling shit.
Yep.
Mwah, mwah.
Suddenly I'm remembering.
That's what I'm thinking of at least. Like
might-
that's how
Exactly.
I group him.
He's like the Debbie Downer of the Night's Watch.
Hands down, hands down.
Yeah.
So to pull it back to Tormund and Maester.
Alice?
Alliser. Maester Aemon Alliser. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get so much crap for
Alliser.
that one.
Maester Aemon was sword fighting
Maester Aemon's
Tormund
a really good
Giantsbane.
sword fighter, all right? Alliser Thorne. So we get that battle going on, and this is actually what prompts Sam to go up. But we get that battle where Tormund's just going at it. Tormund's wild. Knocks
Living up
him
to his
down,
name.
living up to his name, Giant's Bane.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we get that great long shot of Tormund going crazy, knocking people over for one long sweep of the southern side of the wall.
Well, it wasn't all Tormund. He wasn't running around.
Well, no,
the
but he
entire
was
castle,
running out
yeah.
for the first part
Yes.
of
It was
it.
mix, mix up of the Thane, or
Yeah,
and
Fen.
then and
Yeah.
then him.
Him like
That
leaping in the air and smashing someone from
Yeah.
the air.
That shot was amazing, and the set that they built to do that 360
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
And
oh my
choreograph the whole
gosh.
thing. Imagine
It was
to
unbelievable.
get it in one take.
I know we said earlier
Impossible.
that it wasn't epic, and we're saving the epicness for the last episode, but
Yeah.
this shot was pretty epic.
Yeah.
This was pretty
absolutely.
amazing.
Get down to saying too much CGI money for the giant fight, maybe, and it went into this shot apparently. 'Cause, yeah, this was a crazy shot.
And I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. I'm okay with if that was the exchange.
Yeah.
I can have it.
There we go.
Yeah, one really good
choice,
shot there.
producers.
So we get Jon making
Stuff.
over to the side, and Jon ends up facing the Big Fen. He ends up going against him. They start fighting off, the one that we've been seeing.
Absolutely. Can I say that Kit Harington's sword fighting has improved so much since Pompeii came out? The rumor is that he did a lot of sword training for the movie, and it is certainly shows in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because in the first couple seasons you watched it, and it was kind of a little stiff, but he looked fluid, and he looked really good in this one.
One of my favorite moments of this entire episode was when he jumps kind of out of the lift and goes straight into fighting. And it's before he gets to the pen, but he's just like knocking people down, making his own way through this crowd. And it looked beautiful. It looked skilled, it was shot well, and I was on his team. But on top of that, it also made me believe that he could be an adversary of
Yeah.
the Fen after we saw them doing all this damage. 'Cause if it was just Jon, just kind of killing one person, you had to build them both up to make it an epic battle.
He had to have an equal amount of then action, and then
had to kill
like killing all the
together.
people in that one shot, and then
Yeah,
Perfect.
that,
Now you can kill each other.
now
Yeah.
it's good.
yes, I've
We
started
believe
smashing
it.
people with maces before. Yeah, I think that was Thor with a giant mace.
That mace.
Yeah,
you
so
go.
they end up going at it, and Ygritte sees them as they're going at it. Now has to make this decision: is she going to shoot Jon or not?
Yeah.
And also some gosh, just grimaced in pain as Stur smashed Jon's head into an anvil. I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, that one's gonna ring.
Yeah, I think the Fen throwing Jon through that fire, and in doing so kind of behind a wall and out of Ygritte's line of sight, probably saved his
Yeah.
life for 2 seconds. Do you think she actually would have killed him?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
No, she had decided. I
We
think,
believe
not
in
to.
love.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Do you think she would have killed the Fen? My apologies.
Yes,
Yeah.
if it came down to it, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she had a moment of hesitation. She was looking at Jon, and how long did it take her to decide that she wasn't going to kill Jon? Right. So imagine how much more
Seasons.
thinking she'd have to do in order to kill then.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have felt that bad about it. This
Yeah.
is the guy who was like,
She
I'm
was
gonna
giving him
have
shit
you.
earlier.
Yeah.
And she warned
She
the
never
Fen.
really liked the Fen. She told
Yeah.
him she would kill everyone.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah, she did say no one takes Jon except for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was taking him.
That's true.
And I was
All right.
glad that it was Jon, though, that did kill him and finish him off, because I was scared that they were going to kind of reclaim that, and she was going to kill him, and I
Yeah.
was going to be like, no, he can stand up for himself.
Well, I mean, I didn't. I agree with you, Naomi. I actually didn't see her thinking I'm going to shoot the Fen. I just saw her debating if she's going to kill Jon or not. That's all I
Yeah.
got out of that moment.
Okay.
So, regardless, Jon wins.
But does he win really?
Yeah. Oh, well.
Not
Yeah,
yet.
you got it.
I hate everyone. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah,
Ygritte's still alive
poor
at the
Jon.
moment. She's still
Oh, yeah.
alive. Yeah, she's still alive. She's still
Yeah.
making that choice.
He's feeling victory.
It's like Jon smiles to her, even though she's holding an arrow up to him. He's just happy to see her.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't that
Oh,
a
yeah.
talk about love, right?
Yeah.
It's
That's
a
like-
love-hate relationship.
Like he knows he's gonna die. He just wants to have that moment of like, I love
Yeah,
you.
it's just like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter as long as he gets to see her in this
Yeah.
finals moment.
I felt like they definitely shared that moment of love, though. In both
Yeah.
their eyes, we got that.
Well, she was more resistant to it. She always fights it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah, she did. Yeah.
Well, Jon was fighting a
I'm gonna
lot
let
at
you
I
first.
think you have to
Get
look
into
at
it.
the silver lining of this, though. Like, it's sad, but I think that in losing his love, it kind of is gonna make it made him stronger and gave him the ability to go beyond the wall.
Yeah.
Because if she had lived and they're both like chilling and well, like he wouldn't have left.
No.
Well, it's because
Yeah.
now he has nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
So you need that. So as much as it's sad, I'm like,
but
kind of had to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bye.
And that
Everyone who
seems
suffers in Game of Thrones ends up, with some sort of success.
yeah.
Some sort.
Hardens you. in a
It
good
does
way.
harden you.
so
yes.
Ollie pulling it through in a way, but not for us audience,
He
but
was just playing Cupid.
he's doing what he needed. Yeah, love,
Yeah.
the arrow of love there.
Yep.
Arrow of
Ollie
love.
did it.
Yep.
And they set this up when the episode where he reached the wall. He wanted to fight with the men and train and everything. And there's a line where he says, "I'm the best archer in my hamlet."
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He says that, and I know as a book reader in the book reader community, we're all like, he's gonna kill Ygritte.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
he's gonna save the day at the wall. I was like, he's gonna be the one they like all need.
Yeah.
They raise him up.
Yeah, I was
That
like,
would've
he's gonna
been
be
cool.
the hero.
Ollie,
and then I was like,
Ollie. It just keeps going.
Not anymore.
they could have done that.
I'm
They
glad
could have.
we-
Well, he
been
did
happy.
save the. Well, I guess you guys don't think he saved Jon Snow because Jon Snow wasn't really in danger.
But we don't know because
Yeah, we
Ygritte
don't know.
could have shot him. So
yeah,
Yeah.
she shot him before.
Yeah, she did shoot him once.
6
He
inches
was
from the
just
heart.
doing what he was told by Sam.
Yeah, this is all Sam's
It's
fault.
all Sam's fault.
I'll tell you what
Wait
love
till he
gets you.
finds out.
Let me
It's
tell
not gonna
you.
go good.
Let me tell you all what love gets you. An arrow 6 inches next to your heart. That's what love will get you.
Dave, that was like
Damn it!
experience.
That's
man.
Jon's story from before.
It's full circle now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we also get Sam unleashing ghosts. We get to see some ghost action as
Yes.
well.
Oh, that was awesome because I was like, wait, what did I miss, Kyle? I was
Yeah.
like, because he said, I need him more than I need you. And I'm like, wait, who does Jon need more than he needs Sam? And he gave him a key, and where is he going?
Yeah. You were like, what? And I already knew it was gonna happen. I'm like, just watch. Watch.
Shut him up.
I wish Ghost was killing more people in the background. He
Yeah.
kind of just goes after one guy and then we don't see him again.
Yeah.
I wanted him just like a white blur in the
background,
background, just taking out people left and
screaming.
right.
And like at least make it someone really important that Ghost tackled, right? And took down. It was just like we saw him take down someone and then we saw him like feeding off the man.
Yeah, he was hungry. He was hungry.
Makes sense.
Oh, so we got on the chat, Lord Bond saying poetic justice. Ygritte killed Ollie's dad, and then Ollie killed Ygritte. So that's a great point.
Yeah.
Ali.
Guys, really?
You started it. It's now a thing. You gave that to us. Thank you.
Oh man. Damn it.
Ollie's gonna take over. He's gonna be the one in charge of the wall.
Yeah, someday.
Sam. Let's give Sam the wall.
Oh,
Yeah,
on.
Sam's
He deserves it now.
pulling it through
Lord
here.
Commander
won me
Sam.
He has the sword.
So
He does have the sword.
Oh, that meant a lot.
That's enough. That's enough to own the wall.
that's true. He does. Yeah, he does have the sword.
He's gonna walk in there. I have the sword now. Follow me.
It's like the
And they'll
one
just
ring. I
laugh
have
at
the
him.
one sword to rule them all.
Sam,
And
come
I
on.
have this book
Yeah.
in my other hand.
Then he drops an F-bomb and they all follow.
And they all follow.
Knowledge and power, all in one. So, can't
And
even
the
handle
lady
that.
with a baby. Throw it in there.
yeah.
But after the scythe drop, after Stur's death and Ygritte's death, we see the battle finally ending as Mance apparently starts retreating for the day, and Tormund's still going at it all alone.
The sole survivor,
Yeah.
right? He's the only wildling left.
2 arrows in his back, and they couldn't
Only
get
one
him
left
down.
in
Yeah.
the
In the
wall.
first pack.
Besides, the other.
Well, besides the 100,000
Besides-
north, but
I mean, we we took a few of those out, right?
No, it looks grim for them. It looks pretty grim.
Yeah.
But Tormund and angry at Jon as Jon just gets him cuffed. Won't let him fight off and finish it like a man.
They're gonna chain him up and question him later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah.
So
Question him about what?
where is Mance?
How do we
Where's your
defeat these
gold?
100,000 people?
But they know
Yeah,
all of
exactly.
this.
These wildlings.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah,
Right?
what are they? I guess
They're gonna use
I
him
don't
like
know.
they used Ghost.
They're
They're
gonna
gonna, unleash him at some point.
unleash him. Unleash the giant's bane.
They're gonna be like the tickler. Where's your gold? Where's the village? Where do you hide all your money?
It's gonna be like, where are the wildling troops? Well, they're right there.
Yeah, they're all
Who's in
right
charge?
there.
Oh man.
Mance, Raider.
Nice.
I think you know everything. Oh, well, so that is the end of the battles. Then we get the aftermath as Sam's calling it a great victory, and Jon bringing in the realism there of, oh, this is just one night.
Yeah.
Not a great victory. Although they have, really, though, they battle off at least what we know of from the South Wall, which was the big, in my mind, that's the most vulnerable area. Mm-hmm. I mean, there might be other troops coming, but at the moment, we don't know about them.
Yeah, they would certainly be able to put up a much better fight against the northern front.
Yeah.
Without the people attacking from the south.
Right.
But
Still 100,000 troops.
yeah, it's
A lot of people.
We need some support.
Yeah.
We need some support, please and thank you.
no go.
Well, I was
ahead.
gonna say, so with that, Jon makes the decision that he's got to go find Mance, and that's the only way, because Mance is the only one holding everyone together.
I actually agree with this bad plan, and I totally see it all working out now. Because he's been beyond the wall before. He knows his way around. People recognize his face. Come on.
But not for good reasons.
Yeah, I know, but I just feel like now it all makes sense. I just see him like leading the 100 united groups of wildlings. Like I just see him being their leader and like taking out Mance.
I have mixed feelings because as much as I'm on the side of the wall, I also feel like I feel bad for the wildlings because they have a reason to march on the wall. And now that like the Thens seem like they're mostly gone and they're the ones I really don't like, I'm like, oh well, we could let a few wildlings in, like if they're the nice ones. And
Well, like
yeah, I mean,
Jon
you got the
said,
whites all there, so you're like, they're trying to get away from the whites.
Yeah.
like I feel bad for you.
Well, like Jon said, you
Pity.
take out their leader, then what are they fighting for? So if he's their leader, then they would have someone in charge, who could lead them in the right direction.
Teach them how to act civilized.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
build
just
houses.
and use them for good, for the White Walkers. But I really like what Jon said to Sam. You're right, it's a bad plan. What's your plan? Because you've got those leaders who never make a decision.
Yeah.
And it's better to make a bad decision than no decision at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you also have the leaders that never listen to anyone and commit to their one way of seeing things, like Sir
Sir
Alliser.
And then, yeah.
And it was like kind of that change. It was a different way of leading.
Yeah.
He might not have actually had a plan, but he was willing to take some sort of advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with Kristen, though. Like, indecisiveness is never going to win in the end. You have to make a decision, regardless of what it is. And honestly, indecisiveness is a decision, just not a good decision. So
No.
Yeah.
he makes that decision, and they go under, and now we get to see the dead giant, and Garen is also dead.
Yeah.
So also, I want to throw out for like book readers, this is a big surprise for book readers. Gren and Pip did not die in this battle in the books.
No.
Oh,
So this
what?
is
No.
So yeah, this was a huge surprise. Both of them. This is like they're Sam and Jon's best friends.
I know.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I was not seeing both of them. I was like, well, I guess they killed off Pip and he didn't die in the book, so Gren's gonna survive. And no, both of them.
Well,
yeah.
So they do die in the books, though.
They can't tell us that because the audience will like write that they
Yeah.
hated
Yeah,
us for
okay.
spoiling
There you
everything.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah,
That's all I have to say.
yeah, this battle this did not happen in this battle. It's just
Okay.
like,
No, It's a one-armed blacksmith named Donald Noy who is not in the show, who goes in by himself and fights. Or I don't know if he's
Unless-
by himself, but he's like the major dude who goes in and takes out this
Hey,
giant.
maybe he'll like arrive
Yeah.
and do their parts now. Because I feel like what happens with the books is they end up taking the parts who were that specific character's parts in the books and they give them to one of the main
Oh, yeah,
characters
yeah.
to do. So
Absolutely.
it's like whatever they did in the future, I'm sure another character is going to fulfill that
Yeah.
destiny.
Yeah.
It was sad.
Yeah,
Sad to see him
very
go.
sad. I was like, but Pip, but Gren.
But we needed to kill
He's a-
somebody.
It's the ox. Oh man, Gren is awesome. So yeah, and another thing. So speaking of the blacksmith, we get to actually see the shelf. It would seem fighting where he's tied his butcher knife to his spear. It looked like
The
Oh,
chef, I don't know what that was.
that
butcher
thing.
knife pole.
I want to see more of that guy. that
about-
was amazing.
Talk about manslaughter.
The puns are back. Yeah.
They love my puns.
So
I love your puns.
Who was that guy?
I'm very punny.
Does anyone know who that guy was? talking to you.
Mance
Right
That was
there.
Mance Ray. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
who's
I don't
that guy?
know. Major picks on the chest saying that he thinks that Graham was awesome until the end. So, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, he went out, protecting the gate or
Yeah.
protecting the tunnel or
Doing his
whatever. they called
duty.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing his duty, and he did good.
Yeah,
They protected it.
they
Kept
did
his
it.
vow till the
Yeah.
end, and
They
they
did.
repeated it, and I liked that.
So
Yeah.
you get 6.
He held the gate.
yes.
So that's what he said, and then I was like, I'm gonna write that down. Oh my god, he just said it. And then it just fell into place. Yeah.
We must protect this gate.
Yeah.
Hold the
So
line.
we also get that a giant apparently is equal to, if you're doing equations here, 1 giant equals 6 men. That's,
There you go.
apparently, yeah,
So-
equal. That's equals out right there.
The more you
Sam,
know.
Sam should keep that in mind for
Yeah.
rallying the troops for the next battle.
All right, there's a
Whatever
1
is
giant. We
happening
need
that
6
night.
men for this one at least.
At least.
At least.
Well, all 6 are going to die, so maybe 7.
Maybe
Yeah.
7. But maybe,
And then-
maybe only 1 will survive though. If you do 7, maybe that's
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Perfect equation.
One guy to come back and say, we killed him.
I got it the rest of the day, but I survived.
I survived.
It would
I
be
did it
Janos
all.
Slynt. It'd be Janos Slynt. He watched from the sidelines. He's
Yeah,
like, I got it.
I survived.
So we end the episode with Jon leaving the tree. Well, to talk with Mance or do kill him or get him out of there. Or,
Can he just go up to him and talk to him, you think?
to treat? Maybe
Yeah.
he's just trying to go talk to Mance.
Yeah.
He might
find
need, I
Mance.
feel like he needs to grab some other people just to make sure he can.
Or at least Ghost. I was like, where's Ghost?
Ghost!
Well-
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I
We don't
think
even
he
know
has.
what happened to him.
He has to appear as unthreatening as possible.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
point.
true.
If he goes with himself, if he just goes by himself, or he goes with 10 men, or if he goes with the 80 guys who survived the fight, they're gonna get destroyed as soon as they come
Yeah.
into view. But if it's just one guy, he has no sword on him. He doesn't
No
have a
sword,
dire
exactly,
wolf.
my
It's
point,
much
yeah.
more likely that he'll
Get
even be able to
through.
enter
Yeah,
the camp.
Exactly. It's like, who wants to kill the unarmed guy? Like, you want to
Exactly.
be a hero. You want to have a fight.
Especially the
Yeah.
wildlings and how they seem to be. We have Simfire in the chest saying, "When I die, I hope it's death by giant." I
That's amazing.
mean, I'll go with old age, but you can have your giant death if you want. You can take that one. So I prefer Tyrion's method.
Oh, well,
If you remember that, I like to die by cock in a woman's mouth.
Oh,
That's
okay.
I
there
prefer
we
Tyrion's method.
go.
Not
See, I wasn't gonna
remember
just
that
say
line.
it, but you guys pulled it
blocked it
out.
I should have. I should
Gotta
have
bleep
known.
that.
You know what? I take that over giant death. All right, so let's. So, what did you guys think of this episode overall? Because this was very reminiscent of 2 seasons ago with the Battle of Blackwater. It was very much the same thing, but now with a different location. It was just that one battle episode. Do you guys like when they do this, or do you think like, it's all right? What were your thoughts on this episode overall?
I like.
Ooh.
Oh.
Go right ahead.
I like that. It brought Sam back into the picture. It really grew his character, and it served a purpose. And then, of course, we see how well that wall holds up.
Yeah.
Does pretty good. Okay, it's okay.
All right.
I feel like this is the only way they could have had this kind of episode because you can't really interrupt this kind of battle and
True.
go to King's Landing and then come back.
Yeah.
Like that would totally disrupt the feng shui of you being in it and actually feeling the action.
See, I agree, but almost I wish I had known they were going to do that with this episode. I wish that I knew that I was just going to sit down and focus on this one battle because I always expect them to change storylines, so I'm like, don't get too invested, they're going to take it away, you have to wait for it to come back, and then the action's going to happen, because that happens so much. They build up, and then they pull you out.
Game of Thrones is very notorious for almost bringing you to that cool moment and then going, oh, we'll go to another scene.
Exactly. And so this whole episode, for the first 15 minutes, I was like, they're going to pull me out. I just have to be prepared for this. And then I was like, oh, it's been 25 minutes.
Oh, 40 minutes.
Oh, wait, I need to just relax.
45. Oh,
I
the
can
episode's
enjoy
over. It was.
There you go.
I'm kind of mixed on this because I do prefer seeing the multiple storylines, but I do think that with this war, you needed a full episode to really get the oomph of what it was really like. So
Exactly. They have so many swords, and everyone's always wearing armor in this land, so it's about time we see why. You know?
Yeah,
It's
because
like,
usually they're just waiting around, you
Yeah.
know, sort of practicing, and now that they had the battle, yeah, I totally agree with you.
yeah. So we should mention that we do have a special guest with us here, Naomi Kyle.
Yes, hi.
Who is here because of E3. So she's here to cover E3 for IGN, and she has also just recently been in a documentary with Zach Penn about a topic that I'm really interested in. Any of you big nerds out there like me, and if you're watching Game of Thrones, you probably are. Atari, it was there about the ET dig site, which is a huge, huge part of gaming culture, is this thing, and it turned out to be true.
Yeah, they found the game cartridges intact, and I mean, they had to dig quite a bit for it, and a lot of research went into it, about like 4 years of research is what I understand. And yeah, they found them. Quite the epic day, I have to say, being there.
So some background for people who don't know this story. There's a big, wild rumor that's been going around in the gaming world ever since. It's like a 20, 30-year-old rumor.
1984.
30 years, yeah. 1984. E3, ET came out to E3. E3's this week. ET came out to Atari, and it was basically what is considered to be the cause of the video game crash. And Atari supposedly buried all the games in a giant landfill in New Mexico, and it's just the biggest rumor ever, and you were there. So what was that like?
Well, there was a lot of dust and sand and smelly things because it was a landfill in the desert, and but it was cool. I mean, they had the creator of the game there, and one of the coolest moments I remember when they finally like came out and they started the dig. It was like 9 a.m. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they came up on the microphone, I guess, Zach Penn and the people who had been, the archaeologists that they had hired to dig up the site. And they were like, we have intact video games here. They like had the box still rectangular, and you know, you pulled out, you had a little game cartridge, and they still had the instructions in it. And the game creator was there, and he got interviewed like moments after this happened and started crying because for him it was like a moment of closure. Like all your life you're told you made the worst video game, and now it's become this whole myth and this whole like interesting factor in the gaming industry. And yeah, just being a part of that was really cool. I actually have a vlog about it on my YouTube channel if you guys want to see it. It's youtube.com/Naomi Kyle with footage of the whole thing, and it was just cool. Kids were there, you know, adults and people who had like been fascinated with the story their whole lives.
I love when myths come true.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was just the fact that it was actually real. It was like validation for all those years of wondering what happened.
It really is the biggest urban legend in gaming, and it has been. So that's really crazy to me because I grew up with this story, and my question is, can I have a copy? So I want a copy. I want history.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was, of course, asking me that. Did you get to keep anything? And I think it all went to the city afterwards. I heard a story about it going to some museum or something. Going to, someone else has the rights over it, unfortunately, because once in a landfill, it becomes part of, well, not everyone else's property, pretty much.
Oh yeah, there's probably a lot of things that we're covering that I don't want to touch. But you mentioned your YouTube channel, and what is? I've heard you've been focusing a lot on it. So what have you been doing for your YouTube channel?
So recently I've revamped it. It's been around since I started working for IGN pretty much, and it had a good base because people, I guess, when I would leave comments on IGN videos, people would see that I had a YouTube account, and so they'd go to it, but there would be nothing there. And I finally was like, I'm going to set myself a schedule. I'm going to make sure to stay at this. I've been to multiple VidCons and been inspired like the day of, and then go back home and never end up, you know, vlogging or doing anything with my channel. So I finally decided I'm going to concept a few show ideas, start building it slowly. So I've been mostly doing a lot of vlogs. Ask Naomi is this thing that I was doing on Twitter for a long time, and it was just like, you know, one-word answers, and I'm like, there's something here. Like, people are asking me really in-depth questions, and I only have 140 characters to respond. So I thought, you know, putting it in a video format would be more interesting. People would get to see where I live and, like, just get a sense of my... Well, I mean, it makes a little, you know, it's a bit more personal for the fans, I think. Not to
so
the extent I think you're...
to Naomi
yeah.
so you can find out where she lives.
Where she lives. you know what I mean. Like you see, like
It's
I had my
San
cats on an
Francisco, and
episode.
What's the exact address?
Jeez.
I
will not
understand
tell
what you mean.
Yes.
Always
It's
that
just-
personal connection. It
Exactly.
means so much more.
Seeing where Jessica Alba lives. No, I totally don't stalk her. So I don't know. I think it's just a different way for me to get in touch with the fans besides the normal social networks.
Do you have any word on what those shows in the works are? Or are you kind of holding that and want it to be a surprise?
So for the time being, it's vlogs, random vlogs. So
Yeah.
the vlogs might be a surprise because they're never there's no real set concept beforehand. Until I decide to do one, and then I'm like, oh, this would be good as a vlog. But Ask Naomi is a regular show that people can watch every Tuesday, and I post those, and I actually shoot them on Saturdays, edit them Sundays, and then they go live on Tuesday. But yeah, for the most part, I'm just slowly building it up. It's
Great, yeah.
yeah. It's a lot of work though,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
think it's all worth
Yes.
it for people who just want more personal stuff because they see me on TV, like not on TV, but on the internet, and I'm reading a prompter or like I'm talking about something, but never really. They never really get a sense of who I am personality-wise. Like they don't get a sense of like hanging out with Naomi, like what she's like. So yeah, just another side of it.
I think I do YouTube stuff as well, and I think a lot of people don't realize just how long it takes to make these videos.
I
It's
know.
a long time. So
Yeah.
props to you for doing that. That's
Thanks.
wonderful.
It's
I'll
all
have to
about setting the
subscribe.
schedule.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Like sticking to it as much as you can. Like I shot right before flying. I was like 2 hours, my flight was in 2 hours and I
Yeah.
had to shoot this Ask Naomi video and I'm like, I just got to do it. I can't, slack because then that's when it goes down.
And then the
Yeah,
editing
yeah.
process, so much fun.
So
the-
much fun editing those videos.
The editing is the worst. I actually do recaps for
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, and oh my
What
gosh,
do you
the
use
editing.
for your software?
Software?
Like what's your program that you use?
Oh, I'm just editing. I just iMovie it. I'm like
iMovie.
bare bones.
Oh, really?
I have $0. I am a poor man. So
Comes free on the Mac.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Sony Vegas.
Okay.
Actually.
Yeah, I know a lot of big YouTubers use that. Like
Yeah.
Vadi, I do Dark Souls stuff a lot, and Vadi Video does a lot of Sony Vegas stuff. But yeah, so a lot of people really like that one. I use Final Cut because I have a free version of it. So
Oh, you lucky bastard.
that's the
Nice.
way. It's just like, all right, I got a free version. I'm going to use it. So another thing I heard, though, is that you're going to be signing things for people at Comic-Con.
Yes. I have my own booth at Comic-Con.
Oh,
amazing.
We are
Yeah.
gonna come visit you.
Yay!
Yes.
Sweet. I don't know how this got set up. I'm very lucky. My manager set it up for me, and I don't know where it's located on the show floor yet, but I will be on Twitter and letting people know. Cause I've dreamed of this. I mean, Comic-Con's amazing, and if you can get a booth there for signing and your own
absolutely.
booth, it's just kind of surreal and
That's fantastic.
it's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
What?
I said bucket list.
Yeah,
check
total
mark.
bucket list, like just
Amazing.
right off
Congrats.
the.
You gotta vlog live from
Yeah.
the booth.
There you go.
Do it.
No surprise, guys. I'm gonna do a vlog about my
Nice.
signing booth.
So dreams do come true unless you live in Westeros. Where they're crushing your face. So with that Game of Thrones pullback, let's go
Yeah.
ahead and talk about predictions for next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predictions for this show.
So this
make
is the
me
part where Kyle and I
cringe.
shut up.
How-
This is the part where Kyle and I
Yep.
shut up.
Well, it looks like Bran arrives at the tree finally. And
That just
I'm-
sounded terrible. If anybody was
still-
coming in, this kid arrives at a tree.
so interesting.
Okay,
Tell me
now I
more.
want to watch the show.
I mean, that's really all we know. We don't exactly know what's going to happen there, what's going to come of that, but it's going to be powerful and it's
Yeah.
going to help him help others. That's all we really know.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that he runs into Jon because they're both going to be north of the wall. And hopefully he can help Jon kill Mance and then we can rule the wildlings and have a chance at killing White Walkers when winter comes.
I love this.
Now it's your
I'm
turn.
going for this. You've sold me.
What do
Wow.
you ladies
I think it'd be cool. Yeah.
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 Any?
The tree still look like a mirage, though.
Right?
Yeah.
It's always
Okay.
so like whimsical. It's
Yeah.
not very like. I feel like we're gonna get to the tree and it's gonna be like evil looking.
Yeah,
It's
the
always so, like,
complete opposite of what we've been
beautiful
seeing.
on a hill with like the sunset, and I'm like, this doesn't seem to fit. Like, we're talking about death and White Walkers and horrible things. I do not believe in this beautiful tree.
Well, it's like the were trees, which are like bleeding out of their eyes, and it's like, is there some mystical trees?
But I can hope for Kristen's
Yes, we all hope.
future.
And Rumpelstiltskin will be in the tree, and they'll have to guess his name and stuff.
Wow, this is really
Just
like
kidding.
really mythical.
Well, Rumpelstiltskin is like the children of the forest, right? That's
Yeah.
I got you.
I think there's going to be some sort of rumble there.
Rumpelstiltskin's evil.
I mean, there's got to be some protector of this tree, right?
Oh, wait a second.
I gotta read into their poker faces.
I'm getting bad feelings. I get a lot of bad feelings.
All I know is I think that next week's really going to prepare us for the next season and point us in a lot of different directions that we haven't been. So I'm excited.
All I know that in approximately, a week and an hour from now, I'm going to be really upset because that means that there's no more for a while.
It's true.
That's
To
more
wait
for
like
my feelings.
another
Too short.
year almost.
Yeah.
It is too short. Do you have any predictions, Naomi?
Well, Cersei and Jaime get mentioned. I feel like maybe Tywin's gonna confront them about that whole thing.
It does look like that.
Yeah.
Did you guys get that? Mm-hmm. I'm not crazy. Okay.
And do we think that anything's gonna happen with Tyrion? Like, is he gonna die? Is he gonna
well, yeah,
live?
that's what's. That's on everyone's mind. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
because like you said earlier, it looks like the Mountain probably died in his last breath he killed Oberyn.
So there might still be a chance for him not to, get
Die,
killed.
yeah.
He can't die. No.
The mountain can't die?
No, the mountain can die.
I didn't
all
know
he
you
wants.
cared. I didn't know you cared.
Not gonna care for that guy.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing Arya too. Like I love Arya.
Oh, yeah.
Arya.
Yeah,
She's gonna be
mention
doing
of
some
the Hound and
killing.
Arya.
Yeah.
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 It's like people are coming and she's ready with the needle.
Yeah. Do you think she'll run into her sister?
Gosh, that's a really good question.
That might blow my mind if that happens.
I think
I
we
was
all
like-
want that. I don't think it's time yet,
Worlds
but I think
colliding.
I do.
Yeah.
It's the finale. It could totally happen.
Yeah.
Well, traditionally, the 9th episode has always been the big one, so we'll see what happens with the 10th episode.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for big things. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. Once again, I'm Dave Klein. You can find me on Twitter at @TheDaveKlein. That is Klein.
And hi, guys. I'm Sara Stretton. You can find me here at AfterBuzz TV, also on Anatomy of a Movie.
I'm Kristen Snyder. You can follow me at Cinematic Escape on Twitter. You can check out my blog, Cinematic Escape.
And I'm Kyle Maddock. You can find me at Mad Canard, like the duck, on Twitter.
Canard.
Or I had a podcast of Ice and Fire.
And I'm Naomi Kyle. You guys can find me on Twitter at Naomi Kyle and Facebook, Naomi Kyle Fans, and YouTube, Naomi Kyle. Straight up.
That's really easy. You get all the work.
It's all Naomi Kyle.
I
Just
didn't
Google
have
search
B in
me.
front of my name. You guys said. But, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week, and we'll see you next week for the finale. Later, guys.
Bye. Big finale.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.